Good morning, children. Hi, welcome to class 6. Life is full of surprises. Who would have ever thought that I would be taking my first lesson of English for class 6 students through this online medium? I'm indeed happy and excited to address you this way. You all know me. I'm Mrs. Rachel. I don't need any more special introduction. Most of you are familiar to me. We have been together for several programs, especially during the Christmas time and several other cultural activities. But now I face you in a different way. I'm your English teacher for class 6 for the year 2020-21 and we embark upon our English learning. I want you to be in a very relaxed mood. I don't want you to have your textbook or notebooks with you. You young ones are going to come to the higher secondary section. That is, we call the secondary section. Many of you must have climbed those steps a few times to meet one of us, but it was not a daily routine for you to climb the stairs and come to the second floor of our school. Now you have graduated to class 6 and children, I promise you it's an entirely promising, exciting experience to be a class 6 student. Of course, there's a little difference. You will not have the protective shield, the pampering of your primary teachers when you come to class 6. I don't mean to say that your teachers will no longer love you or protect you, but we teach you to be more independent in your studies. You're going to discover the joy of learning by yourself. Now, before we start any lesson in English, let me remind you, English is the language of communication, and as you enter into the world, English is the gateway for you to get a world of success. Whether it's on a job or whether you have to face somebody, English is most essential. It's a tool of communication, and I'm sure most of you would love to be excellent communicators of English. For that, you've got to follow a few rules. You've got to read well, you've got to listen well, you've got to speak well and write well. LSRW, listening, speaking, reading and writing. We know English is made up of a million and more words. And I would like to introduce you to the basics of grammar now. This is intended not as a first lesson but as a bridge course which we usually do when you come from class 5 to class 6. It's like bridging the gap of learning from your younger days in primary to the senior secondary section. You must all have heard of the parts of speech. Parts of speech. We have 8 parts of speech. You can call them the building blocks of any language. I spoke to you about the millions of words in English. And every word constitutes under any part of speech. I would call them according to the functions they perform in a sentence. We speak sentences, a group of words, and those sentences which you come across in your textbooks, in the newspaper, in the storybooks, they will have these basic parts of speech. So let me start with the first one, the noun. Noun is a part of speech. I think this is just a recap of many things which you might have heard in the primary section. A noun is the name of a person, place, thing or idea. For example, John lives in London. John is the name of a person. London is the name of a place. John has a pen. Pen is the name of a thing. John is happy. Happy is an idea or emotion. So now a noun is the name of a person, place or thing. Next we move on to the verb. A verb is an action word. I'm talking to you. What am I doing? I'm talking to you. So talk is a verb. We also call it an action word. The next one is a pronoun. A pronoun replaces a noun. I'll give you an example. John is my brother. He lives in London. So instead of saying John is my brother, John lives in London, I replace the noun with he. So a word which replaces or which is used instead of a noun, we call it a pronoun. Adjective. Just look at me. What is the color of my dress? The word dress is a noun. I wear a red dress. I am wearing a red dress. So the word red is an adjective, a describing word. A word which describes a noun, you may call it an adjective. The next one is an adverb. Look at that girl. She sings beautifully. She sings beautifully. The word sing is a verb or an action word. How does the girl sing? The girl sings beautifully. So the word which describes a verb is called an adverb. The next part of speech that I would like to introduce to you is preposition. Prepositions are small words that connect different parts of a sentence. For example, this pen is on the table. The cat is under the table. These small words that connect are called preposition. You may ask me, Madam, what did you have for breakfast? I would reply, I had bread and butter. Bread and butter. The word and connects. So the connecting words are called conjunction. They're called conjunctions. Connecting words are called conjunctions. And the last part of speech is interjection. Words that show emotion. For example, I would say, oh, what a hot day. How beautiful. These words which show emotion are called interjection. I promised you that I wouldn't be giving you any assignment this first day, but I'll give you an interesting task. We've come across the 8 parts of speech. Let me recap. Noun, verb, pronoun, adverb, adjective, preposition, interjection and conjunction. You have a first lesson in your English textbook. Who did Patrick's homework? I request you children to make a reading of the first lesson in your English textbook and just note down how many nouns, how many verbs, how many adjectives and how many pronouns. We had learnt about 8 parts of speech, but I repeat only the verbs, adverbs, adjectives and pronouns. Hope you do this task. I'll be following with several videos with more explanations about your lessons and about tips on how to improve your 4 skills of language learning: listening, speaking, reading and writing. Thank you. Signing off with lots of love.